Like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. So the NFL is rolling, the NBA is underway, and Underdog has got you covered. If you're new to Underdog, use code It Is What It Is and get $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 entry, win or lose. So we've been partners with Underdog for a long time, and trust me, y'all, this is the best offer they've ever dropped. Y'all don't want to miss it. So make sure y'all support the show, hit that subscribe button, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Maurice Claret.
Mo was good, man.
I'm still mourning, man. We lost this weekend.
Yeah, you're not quarter zip no more, man. You lost the quarter zip already. This is why I don't trust niggas right here. This is exactly why. Week to week, day to day.
Definitely is not quarter zip today.
That's why we lost, man. I told you that. So God told me ever since I started acting like a young nigga, we'll be back in a couple of sets. So he told me to clean my act up.
Yeah.
I saw one of your sermons, Mace. Come on.
That's crazy because niggas always want to bring God into it, you know?
Yes. So I said,
No pun
when you
intended.
respond with God, yeah. Nah, when you respond with God, they can't talk shit to you anymore. So
Mo, was you
not
at the
excuse
game?
my language. Yeah, I was at the game, and here was the funny part. I was at the game and I'm watching it, and the only thing I kept on thinking about in like the fourth quarter, I said, "Man, these niggas fucking up my content." Like I was supposed to come back to the show, talking shit, had a new quarter zip on, but nah. No, shout out to Indiana, they got it done, man. They beat us fair and square. So, we still in the playoffs, and we do have something else going on. We do have a path that'll make for good content to play Miami in Texas at the Cowboy Stadium.
Woo!
So Miami going to beat Texas. So Ohio State going to be playing Miami in the college football playoffs. So looking forward to that if they can get past Texas.
Yeah.
Miami got to win first.
And if you see Mike anywhere, get that poncho.
Mike ain't. He wasn't here. Macy said he don't know where the poncho at.
All of a sudden,
He lost the poncho. He don't know where the poncho. But I tell you what, Philly did lose on Sunday, so the poncho might be back out. Philly, they still got a chance. Philly fucking up, and now it's still crazy that Dallas has a chance to win the conference. That's fucking ridiculous. But I wanted to ask you, the reason why I was actually ask you this, and I know Indiana isn't that far from Ohio, but I watched the whole game, and you know your personnel, your players more than I do, and I haven't watched a lot of games this season, and it was just some times where the quarterback held on to the ball longer than I would like for him to hold on to the ball, not getting rid of the ball, and I'm like, damn, man, like, get rid of the fucking ball. But what is that ride like? And I know I don't expect you to say too much because these are your boys, these your team, this your team, everything else, alumni, now employee or non-employee mentor, whatever it is that you do there. What is it like for that kicker going back home on that ride? When the nigga miss a field goal like that. What is that ride like for him, pause, back on the way back?
Yeah.
A nigga like me and Murder, we on the team. Like, yo, don't sit over here. like nigga try to sit next to me, I'm going to get up and walk to the
Turn
back.
your music down and all that.
What is that like for a kicker to miss a field goal that badly and then got to be with the rest of the team going home?
Yeah, no, it was crazy when we walked back over to the sideline. But here's the two part what you said. Like you were talking about the quarterback holding on to the ball too long. So I don't know if you watched the Michigan game, but early on in the Michigan game, he had threw a pick early on, and then he threw a pick early on in this game. So I think some of that kind of mentally played with him. where he was like gun shy and let it go because, Indiana was good. So, like, that's to talk about that. But with the kicker, he also missed a field goal kick in Michigan last year, which could have basically tied the game in a similar situation. But he came back over to the sideline, and whether people know it or not, I'm usually by the kicker for the majority of the game. So I'm the one who bring out the net for him, and he kicked the ball inside the net, and dude be warming up in the whole nine. So when he missed the field goal, I knew how everybody felt. So I walked over to him and was like, "Yo, like, don't let everybody see you with your head down because you might go back in the game." But when he got to the locker room, like it is what it is. Dudes have feelings, but they didn't like express them. These young dudes, it's like these young dudes are good young dudes. They ain't like, the guys from the 90s or the early parts of the 2000s. But dudes gonna feel some type of way, but it's like, hey man, it just wasn't that field goal kick. It was a lot of stuff that went wrong that made these guys lose. And so Indiana played a good game. And so outside of the kick, there was a whole lot of stuff that we done wrong, that we know that we weren't done wrong. But it was crazy because you know how people felt with him based on looking at it.
See, the thing about that, and I agree with you. Like, we always say football's the ultimate team sport, but you got one job.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And then you can say 100 things went wrong. Niggas missed assignments, a bunch of things. You got one job. That's the kick, bro.
Kick.
And I'm not talking about just him. I'm not talking about Ohio State kicker. It's water under the bridge. Y'all, y'all went from first to second. It's no big deal. And they have a chance if y'all run the table and they run the table, y'all can play them again. But just in general, I remember OJ, God bless the day, used to say they want to fuck they kicker up. Because they said the kicker don't even practice on the same field as the other players. They got their own little shit down on the other end of the field. They don't do nothing. But that was a great point, like you said. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The team is more caring. That's what you're saying. When they're not the 90s and 2000s, they care more. Murder.
How you
feel about it?
I think it's really just they're raised by their mothers. That's what it's giving me. Like you're raised by your mother. That's how you communicate, man. You be feeling the way you ain't said nothing. You got a dad or a stepdad. He gonna say, "Nigga, what's on your mind?" Say it.
So let me say this. Let me say this though. Have you ever had like a moment of deja vu and you just say to yourself, "Man, this ain't happening again"? So every game I go to this dude, and this is a real story. He'll tell you if he's on the show. Every game I go to him, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, let's warm up." Because when he missed it last year, I seen how, guys treated him. So I was like, okay, man, this dude need a friend because we going to depend on him. So I'll be the one encouraging him, talking shit to him, like kind of get him into the mold. The last game he did that where he missed the game winning field goal was Michigan. So I came to him before the game and I said, "Yo, bro, let's warm up." This was the second time he denied warming up. He's like, "Nah, I'm cool." Soon as he did it, I said, "Man, last time this nigga did this shit was Michigan." It went in my mind. And then when he go out there and miss it, I said, "Man, life is so much about routine and not believing that you're above the routine that keeps you successful." And I haven't said that until Cam just brought this conversation up, but that was the last time that he refused to warm up. But him refusing to warm up, he goes out there and he shanks the kick. And so not blaming him, but that's for anybody who like if you got a routine that keeps you successful, stay in your routine. Because when dude missed the field goal, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, "God damn, this nigga missed this shit." And that was the last time he did that.
Mo, it's okay to blame that nigga. If he missed, he missed. Ain't nobody else fault. They put the ball down at the right time. And it's not
Mo,
like it was a hiccup.
Mo, don't let this nigga cost you your job, nigga.
Nah, we ain't gonna blame him.
Don't let murder put that battery in your back.
Yeah, blame, accountability, same thing to me.
What I would say is this, though. Next time that nigga deny warming up, grab that nigga, you warming up, nigga. Yo.
Yeah, Mo, now that's how you lose your job, Mo. Grabbing niggas in this society. Don't let him get
I guess neither one of us got no good advice. Go out, go for what you know, boys.
You grab that nigga if you want. He talking about you assaulting him.
Yeah.
He got lacerations on his neck. It's a different generation, Mo.
Yeah, it was nasty though.
Very different generation. I will say, Maurice, though, it would be cool to see Miami play Ohio State. And I will say you can go ahead and give that same speech that you gave before y'all played Indiana, because I need all that energy. So we'll see what ends up happening.
He gave a speech before they lost?
Well, he always says, he comes in with the colors, comes in with the gear, comes in with everything. Do the same exact thing if that happens.
He went Jameis Winston on us, killer.
I'm going to keep it 100. Bring the quarter zip back after y'all win. That's it.
No, that's a political. That's the political guy during the regular season, because I don't mean shit. I'm talking shit from here on out. Let me tell you like this. We trying to win the championship, and if we play Miami, Texas A&M, Georgia, whoever gets to the championship, we trying to win. All that political shit is out the window. That's like just to get us to this point. It's up for everybody right now.
Get fired, Mo. That's how you feeling. Get fired. You always got a role here, you know?
Yeah. There we go.
Smoke for everybody. You're not quarter zip today, but you are Mr. Neutral, so I peeped that, because you never wear neutral colors, so we see what's going on over here. That's what I will say. Okay, so let's have a conversation about underdogs. So, Maurice, why do you guys feel athletes and entertainers always look for reasons to be the underdog? And what do you think is the difference in functioning from a space of someone who's expected to win versus being an underdog?
Yeah, and this is a conversation I'll be having with myself, and I brought it to the show, obviously, to hear perspective from these guys. But I don't know, and that's kind of why I asked the question. I don't know why is it so tough for people to expect somebody to do something great, and then they struggle from doing the thing great. But when you tell them that they can't do something, they have this thing almost like that's inside of them that gets activated. And so I just don't know that, but it's like the question I frame for these guys. And so I don't know the answer to it. You know what I mean? But people seem to function better from an underdog space versus somebody expecting great things from them. And I was trying to pair it to say, it's like the same thing with music. When you're coming up with music, some people's best material is when they've not basically got a record deal, but versus them getting on and selling a bunch of records, it seems like the music becomes different. So I don't know. I just wanted to hear their perspective on it, because I didn't have an answer. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation, and it's layered with so much information that can be shared. When you think about being an underdog versus the favorite, it's just one thing that comes to mind, and that's motivation. Some people are gathering more motivation from being an underdog, and some people thrive at being a favorite. It just depends on your mindset at that time. I remember times being an underdog. I remember times being a favorite. Each time, it wasn't a lack of confidence for me or more drive for me, either one, because each time it was just a different motivation. It's like, yeah, they finally get it. That motivates you as well. But some people, it doesn't motivate them as much as being a person when people don't believe in you. Some people get off on that. It just depends on your upbringing. I think a lot of that has to do with your upbringing. So, early on in life, we didn't have that. So if you didn't have that, then the underdog is just the place that you're most comfortable at, because that's where you've been your whole life. But as you go on and you have more and more success, then you got people saying, you know what, I belong here. And then that's a motivation to prove that you belong here. So it just depends on the mindset at that time.
Well, let me ask. Well, I'll let Kevin go and ask the question.
If you got a question, go ahead.
Yeah. But do you miss something when you always trying to fight to that place to stay motivated, right? So the question came out of like Indiana had an underdog mentality that they had to beat Ohio State. Ohio State was like, we're great. And when you fighting somebody and it ain't shit that you can do to beat them just because they have like this anger or this feeling inside of them, and it feels like you're fighting a force. But that's kind of like what I was talking about. Like, is there things that you lose when you're always looking to be sort of the underdog, and then when that doesn't exist anymore, like, who are you? And so I don't know if like I'm answering the question clean enough, but hopefully y'all can figure out what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about Ohio and Indiana, we'll start there before I give my answer, just talking about that. Indiana, the thing about it is Indiana was number 2. They was undefeated too. It wasn't like they had 3 losses or 4 losses or even 1 loss for that matter. it was a fight for number one, and they just came up short. But the reason why Indiana is such an underdog and Ohio State was such a favorite, they hadn't beat y'all in 30 years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, 30 years is kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? So y'all definitely going to be a favorite. Not only that, Indiana, the last I don't know how long, has not been really good in football. And then they're like, Indiana's good? And then in the middle of the season, I don't know their coach's name, but they gave him a shitload of money in the middle of the season. And I remember Paul Feinbaum, I can't pronounce his last name. He does the college football. He was pissed off. Like,
That's his name.
Yeah, he was like, why would they give him all this money? Y'all need to wait and see what happens. You're giving them all this money, and you don't even know what's going to happen. He looking good, looking like he deserved that chicken that they paid the nigga. And I remember when he got to Indiana, he gave a speech. He was like, why would you should be successful here? And he was real arrogant. He said, because I win, Google me.
Wait.
Yeah, check me out. That's what I do. I was like, okay. I like the nigga attitude. I didn't even know the nigga. Nigga say, because I win, Google me. Then the nigga won. Then he beat y'all niggas. Now he's the number one team in college football. I'm like, that nigga might go for another check before next season starts if he fuck around and get to the championship. That nigga was confident. I didn't even want to use arrogant. He's very confident, and he had the facts. So Ohio State is going to be the favorite because year after year after year after year, they're always in the conversation, as opposed to Indiana not being in the conversation. And when you have to have, and you got to think about this, 4 years, let's say you go to school all 4 years, right? This is 7 different, just if you're doing math, you do 4 times 7, it's 7, and it's more than that because every year people come in and out. But you can essentially say it's 7 sets of different niggas coming in and out that beat up on Indiana for years. You know, you do 7 times 4, you know, it's 28, even though, like I said, every year is something different. Indiana wasn't even supposed to be number 2, so for them to win, it was really amazing. So y'all always going, next year, if y'all play Indiana again in the championship, y'all are going to be the favorite again. Even with y'all losing to them. Ohio State's just a traditional school, but back to the all-around question, Mason's 100% correct. When you're an underdog, sometimes it's different sets of mentality. Some people like, let us fly under the radar. Nobody paying us no mind. Cool, watch this, da-da-da-da-da. And then you got other niggas like, niggas really don't know. I can't wait to have an opportunity to bust whoever they think the favorite's ass, pause. And then when you're the favorite, sometimes you get a little lax, but you still got to have even when you're the favorite, you have to have an underdog mentality. Like, niggas trying to come take my spot. This is my spot. You got to have that mentality. I know we talk about our high school career a lot because it was a hell of a time. And we was about to play stuff on Marbury, and our coach made us the underdogs. That was his team. He looked at the shit and said, y'all look good to the semis. Like, your own coach telling you y'all gonna lose in the semifinals. And you know how niggas use reverse psychology? I don't even think it was reverse psychology.
Yeah.
I think he really believed that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shaka Ship, Stephon, y'all good. Semifinals, that should be, y'all had a hell of a year. And niggas is like, this nigga here, we didn't even beat them niggas, pause, to beat them niggas. We beat this nigga like, you sucking these niggas all year round. These are niggas these was your champions? And to keep it 100, it was almost like an Ohio State Michigan situation, because all year, all we heard about was Lincoln, Stephon Maurice said, Shaka Ship, this nigga. We beat them and lost in the championship. But we beat the niggas that they kept talking about. So not saying we ain't want to win the chip, but we were so focused on beating this one school that we'd already thought we won the next game because we beat the number one team in the city. So you got to keep that mentality. To me, you have to have an underdog mentality, even when you are the favorite. And that mentality is, niggas is coming to take my spot. This spot is mine. I earned it, and you're not coming to do that. That's what you're not going to do.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Lamar Jackson. So he hasn't been playing his best, to the point people are saying this is the worst football they've seen from Lamar Jackson ever. So, Maurice, if you were an owner, how would you handle the Ravens as a whole? Because we see kind of where things are going, and Lamar Jackson and his injury.
Yeah, and just so people know that this doesn't mean I'm saying that Lamar Jackson has fell off by any stretch of the imagination. But the question came out of like me thinking about athletic quarterbacks and people who depend on their legs, right? And when you start to get nagging injuries or production from the running standpoint requires you to do something else. And then the team is built around you running the ball a whole lot, having production there. And I was thinking as an owner, like at what point, and we talked about the Steelers possibly holding on to Mike Tomlin too long. You talk about Ben Roethlisberger probably being held on too long. You think about how Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers had that transition. It was a little funky, but you still had the transition from somebody else just to give context for it. And I said with an athletic quarterback, and I thought about Michael Vick, and I know his situation was totally different. I said, do you shop an athletic quarterback earlier? And I'm thinking I would, why they still have shelf life on it, because you'll get a value for your asset, right? And I said that Derrick Henry was brought over to the team. He's been there well, I think this is the second year. He's going into his third year. This doesn't help you to win a Super Bowl. And I said, man, when you're paying that much for a quarterback, I would probably be thinking over the next couple of years to transition somebody in who's a little bit more traditional because it's harder to backfill, pause Lamar Jackson's skill set and build a team around it. So I was saying that in the next few years, I would think about shopping him to somebody else. I know other people may think about it different, but if it was me with an athletic quarterback, knowing that my team is built around that and we don't have the pieces to win, I would rather go get some other pieces and get a traditional quarterback. So that's just my viewpoint and context for it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Lamar Jackson, I'm ready to say he has fallen off. You know, the number says differently. Regardless of how people feel about this take or what I'm about to say, I believe I'm responsible to tell the truth. And if one year he has 4,000 yards, another year he has 3,000 yards, and this year is looking like he's barely over 2,000, that's fall off to me. I don't know how else you want to look at it, but that's falling off. Even the touchdowns are not as high as before. So we know he suffered an injury and things of that nature, but the numbers are saying there's a great decline. And, you know, you may see a burst in his pause in his legs from time to time, but it's like the NBA basketball player that lives off of athleticism. And then the athleticism start going away. You stop seeing them look really bouncy, pause, or dunking. It's like people ask the same thing about a certain NBA player. I'm not going to say his name, but they're like, I haven't seen him punch it on nobody in a long time. I haven't seen him dunk backwards. And they start looking for that because that's what the game was really put out there on. This is how he made his name. And now you're not seeing that. So he wasn't beating people on just his arm. He was beating people with his legs sometimes. So when that is not there, is definitely going to start to indicate that, especially to executives who have the history to know what a decline look like way before it happens.
Lamar Jackson's 28. He's the MVP the year before last. That nigga's hurt. I'm not getting rid of Lamar Jackson. That nigga missed like 3-4 games too. So his touchdowns and yardage is not going to equal what it was last year or the year before last. And his play is not going to be as good because he's playing injured. My personal opinion is this. I have no fact behind this, is that division is up for grabs, and that's why Lamar Jackson is playing. If it was a situation like the Bengals or the Browns, and they only won 2 games or 3 games, I don't think you would see Lamar Jackson playing right now. But I think because that it's still a chance for the Ravens to win the division and go to the playoffs, that's the only reason you see Lamar Jackson play. My personal opinion, like I said, I have no fact behind this whatsoever. But if they wasn't,
That's a good take.
That's my opinion. If they wasn't in a chance to win the division or go to the playoffs, I don't think you would be seeing him playing, because we all see him not doing what he was doing last year or the year before last. Now I would have the same agreement with you and Mace if he was 33, 34 years old and be like, nah, Tom just ticked up on the nigga. He's getting older. You know, football, you get old when you're still young. Sometimes they say 33 is an old player for a football player. You know, we've seen differently lately, especially pertaining to quarterbacks and certain wide receivers. You know, running backs, they say they shelf life is 33, 34 years old. But I'm only going off him being injured. Like I said, I don't know any of this. But I'm not giving up on a 28-year-old that's a 2-time MVP that won back-to-back MVPs, and it was just the year before last. This is the same shit I was talking about with you last week, Mo, when you was going to give up on Ryan Day. And now you down with him and y'all work with the nigga. And now y'all national champions and shit. Y'all niggas be ready to curve a nigga so quick, man. I can see if it was 7 years ago. I can see if it was 5 years ago. I can see if it was 4 years. Shit was the year before last. He's MVP. And he played good last year. And he was second run-up last year for MVP right behind Josh Allen. So 2 years MVP, second run-up MVP. The niggas hurt this year. Niggas talking about, nigga ain't punched it on a nigga.
Janet Jackson.
I ain't knocking y'all take, but I'm saying it's a tough room. Man. It's a tough ass room to be in, man. God damn,
just think about this, right? So, okay, so let me make my point, right? If he gets to be 32 or 33, does he have any value? That's what I'm talking about. So I was having this conversation like, if I'm the owner and if it's an athletic quarterback, he get to 32, 33, and he's more of on a decline, I can't shop him and get the same thing. When do you have the most value? Yeah, that's all I was saying. I was like, do you get rid of him at the top of his game, knowing that, man, you can offload him, he good for 2 years, 3 years somewhere else? Yeah, you might miss out on that, but you might get your $40 million back to build you a team that's going to be sustainable. But then the other question was, like, how do you, when you design your offense so much around that, how do you bring somebody in to support that? That's if I was an owner, I'm thinking like, how do you think through that?
No, sorry, Mason.
Yeah, you definitely can't trade him because your offense is built around him. And another thing to think about when you think of Lamar Jackson, I want you to think of what you think about when you think of running backs, right? The shelf life is shorter because they're running and they're taking hits. It's the same way with a running quarterback. The shelf life is different than a quarterback that stays in the pocket and uses his arm.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that Lamar Jackson has, over the years, has become a better quarterback in the pocket, even though, and the reason I think he's better in the pocket is because niggas is threatened by his run game. But I will say this, when you're talking about from an owner or GM standpoint, go ahead, Mace, go ahead, Mo, be Nico Harris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't say get rid of him. Mo said get rid of him.
Let him be Nico.
That's a great example.
Let him get rid of Luka, nigga.
Yeah.
I dare you.
That's a good point.
Just for the fans, I do, because you know they're going to go crazy in the comments. Lamar Jackson's still talented. Still ball.
Yeah.
Clean it up now.
Yeah, clean it up, Mo.
No, but Maurice, it's a great question, especially for discussion purposes, because everybody right now is just in this win now mentality. So people are so quick to move on to the next thing when something's not working right then and there. But when you have somebody at Lamar Jackson's caliber being one of the best quarterbacks, like, that's just not something that you play with. And that's why, I mean, Cam bringing up Nico, it's hilarious because literally maybe if that was the thought process, to the fan, to the people on the team, to everybody playing, like, it just doesn't make sense, even if it makes sense to you. So to jump the gun and do a decision like that doesn't really make sense. And then I know it's like he's injured, but that's also the risk that you have to take, because we kind of had this discussion yesterday when we were talking about a lot of the time the organizations don't really care that much about the players. They just want to win. So it's like, if it's risking potentially, you know, being at the top of the division and seeing where things go, and if he can still play, they're still going to play him rather than just be like, oh, well, let's just figure something out, or put Cooper Rush in, because that's just the best decision that they have right now. So it's kind of a little bit of both. Like, win now because even though Lamar Jackson's injured, they still have a chance, but also we're not going to get rid of him because this is going to be probably the best situation that we have when we have generational quarterbacks like that. So I don't know. They're going to have to figure it out.
What's that?
Yes, Maurice.
Hey, that was a great take, but why didn't you say that about Mike Tomlin last week?
About what?
I was just about to say that about all the Steelers quarterbacks that she says this about every year. She get rid of niggas every year.
Nah, but Mo was right. He's talking about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
The same, but that's the same reason niggas scared to get rid of Mike, because Mike have another job in 3 minutes. That's how you say you
That's
play
what I
it.
said.
No, but you play it safe.
That's what playing it safe.
Nothing. Just not a risk taker.
In certain situations.
All right.
Go ahead, Maurice.
No, you was detailed with this. No, you was detailed with this response. It was eloquent. It was nice. I asked you about Mike Tomlin last week, and you ain't say nothing. You was like, I don't even want to touch the question.
I'm glad you realized that, Mo. She does this all the time. That's why when she's talking, she looked at me. She goes like this.
I look at everybody when I'm talking because that's how I talk. I will take accountability, but I didn't have anything. I wasn't trying to get rid of Mike Tomlin from the jump. I said that. So this is why we then went on to another game, and I'm cool right now. That's all.
You was on the fence last week.
Yeah,
I was not on the fence. Y'all wanted me to be on the fence, and I can play it safe because I know that Mike Tomlin is still a good coach. So why would I want to get rid of him?
You wasn't. You was on the fence. You was had, one foot was in the portal. You definitely had one foot in the portal.
I definitely did not. I've been having the same stance and the same team since the beginning of the time. We know this.
No, we're not talking about your team, but you'd be on the fence with Mike Tomlin year after year. Definitely. Depending on what part of the season it is. When you're winning, you love them at the end.
I feel like the only person I'm on the fence of is our quarterback, but this is not a Steelers discussion.
Yeah, I haven't heard Steeler Nation in like 3 weeks. I'm just going to.
You also missed it because your team's lost, but that's okay. Like, accountability every week. Things change, but I was very clear about that. But I see what you did there, Maurice. I see what you did there. So my next question, because this is actually a good conversation. I feel like you guys have different opinions on this. Do you guys feel like the Ravens' window for a championship is closing?
I think so. That's probably my short answer. I think that they're closing, and I think you have to go through probably another 2 seasons of rebuilding pieces around Lamar as he gets older, but you just need more pieces around him.
Yeah, I thought when they got the running back, everything was gonna change for them. So, and it didn't. It's not been good as well. Last year I thought was like their best opportunity. This year they're definitely not gonna get it done. And I think the more times you don't get it done, the more that confidence goes away, and people around you start thinking about getting their money. So I'm gonna say it's 100% over for them. Just gotta see the future.
I wouldn't say 100%, but the window's definitely closing, especially when you think about this. You got teams like the Patriots that's looking really good. You're looking at Jacksonville Jaguars that's sitting at 9-4. The Denver Broncos are 11-2. The Chargers are starting to gel. It's a lot of other teams outside of the teams that we're used to. And when we say used to, of course, Buffalo is still in the talk. Kansas City, we don't know. A lot has to go right for them to enter the playoffs. Joe Burrows, as much as I love him, he's always hurt. The Texans, they've won 5 in a row. And this is somebody I thought the first 3-4 weeks their season was over. 5 weeks, and they made a real good comeback. But the usual suspects that we're looking at, talking about Kansas City, we're talking about Baltimore, Buffalo's still in the conversation. It is some teams in the AFC that's emerging that I think we're going to have to get used to moving forward. When you think about the Patriots and you think about the Denver Broncos both sitting at 11-2, this was not on my bingo card at the beginning of the season. And I don't think that they're going to go backwards. I think they're going to gel and decline and advance. You got to think about this. We have a second-year quarterback in Bo Nix, and we got a young quarterback in Drake May, and they're both sitting at 11-2. It's only going to get better from here. So I'm not going to say it's over, but the window's definitely closing.
Yeah, that's my reason for saying it's over, because you got these young quarterbacks. Even we forgot to say C.J. Stroud. They just beat us, the Texans. All of these teams are going to get better. So, Baltimore is looking like the team like you had your shot, and it's harder to get a shot again when you had your shot. And these other teams never had that shot. You were just talking about this, Mo, about being the underdog. Baltimore had, in a lot of cases, could be deemed as the favorite many times. But now that you got, what he said, Bo Nix coming up, you got Lawrence now getting his feet under him, feeling like he could play. You just got so many teams that are making that turn to be a much better team. And then you got the Chiefs that got to get back. So a hungry with a vengeance team like that, I don't see where they fit, even while you still got Josh Allen still in that same AFC. So this will be really interesting.
I didn't forget C.J. Stroud.
Oh.
He got to start over for me. He do.
Start over.
He do. He wasn't though. He played good but he been hurt this year.
Yeah.
And they've been playing good when he wasn't there. And he wasn't playing that good.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing that good in the start season. So
Yeah.
you got to start over. I give the credit to Nico, to the coach, and that defense. That Texas defense is crazy. The Texas Houston Texas defense is crazy. So I didn't forget C.J. Stroud. And he got to start all over, but he does still have an opportunity to be one of them niggas. But I purposely left him out of the conversation. And to be honest with you, Bo Nix is good, but this is more like Sean Payton. You know what I'm saying? They put him in the right situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to think about this. As much as we was talking about Drake May being in the MVP conversation, they're 11-2. And you think about Denver being 11-2, you ain't talking about Bo Nix in no MVP conversation. It's more of a team effort and the coaching staff that's getting it done. Not saying that Bo Nix isn't doing a decent job, but he isn't doing a sensational job.
Yeah.
So
They got the number 1 pass rush, Denver.
Yeah. So it's defense.
And then, Mace, you brought up the Bills. So we see where the Patriots have been throughout the top of the year.
Yeah.
Maurice, do you think that the Bills' window for a championship is closing?
I think it's closing for all the reasons that Cam unfolded the whole conversation, but I think it's closing for that reason. And I think the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, that saga, that competitiveness that they had, I think that's kind of running its course. And when you have even you could say Sean Payton probably been getting shitted on and pissed on, and you was only something in New Orleans, and you got to get your thing going, and with the Broncos, and he has something to prove. And I'm pretty sure Mike Vrabel getting released from Tennessee and him being with Josh McDaniels and the Patriots, they have something to prove. So for all the reasons that Cam said, I think that just as much as Lamar Jackson's window closed, I think that Josh Allen window closed for the immediate foreseeable future.
And Mo, don't forget Cam's other man. Don't forget Joe Burrow. Throw him right in that loop too. It's becoming. No, he didn't.
I did say that.
No, I'm saying Mo.
Oh,
he just said. Yeah, he just said. Who did you just say? Josh Allen and
Allen. Lamar Jackson.
And Lamar Jackson. I'm saying throw Joe Burrows in there as well. The window is closing for that whole little time of those quarterbacks that we all said was top 4 and things like that. And I know we probably get to that at a later time, but it's definitely closing because you got new talent emerging.
I would say I disagree as far as this year and next year is concerned. Because you have to think about this. We're talking about the window's closing, but is it closed? Not for me. Because you have to, it isn't. Because you think about these teams that we're talking about, what's the one thing that they don't have? Is playoff experience. Now, when we get into the playoffs, who has the most playoff experience? If we're going to the playoffs right now, who has the most playoff experience? No, well, Buffalo, not with Buffalo. We're talking about quarterbacks. It's Aaron Rodgers and it's Josh Allen. These quarterbacks have no playoff experience, and the playoffs is not the regular season. And the playoffs is where you become great at. So I'm not saying that they can't be great, but sometimes it takes time. When you talk about Lamar Jackson, we talk about Baltimore Ravens and their window closing, they still haven't been to the AFC Championship or to the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, we sit there and name him MVP, but he can't win the big game. Talking about Lamar Jackson. He never can win the big game. So it's like, damn, man, when is he going to win the big game? So you have these young teams emerging, and we'll see what happens with them coming in the playoffs. Maybe they ready to go like, yeah, this is what I've been waiting on. But if we're going with niggas who've been in the playoffs and has experience and been waiting for a moment for Patrick Mahomes to get out the fucking way so they can do their thing, it is Josh Allen. And it is an Aaron Rodgers. And especially Josh Allen more than Aaron Rodgers. So that's why I said the window isn't closed. Maybe it's closing, but when the playoffs come, we'll see exactly what happens.
Yeah, great combo, y'all. Okay, so athletes on social media, is it more good or more harm? We will discuss after the break.
I'm just saying, okay. If you want to
Put the light on it.
DJ, the Dime Life brand is serious. I love that shirt you got on.
Like this, and your bank account is that much, you say whatever the fuck you want to say.
Rally around him with that, the picture of his daughter sitting on the lap of the LSU player. So,
Will, we happy that you can join us?
Man, thank you for having me on.
Look, I tell you this. Hey, okay, let me tell you like this. I got too much money to be fighting.
Ain't got that no more. And we've taken that song a long time and made it our anthem.
Parlay Jenkins.
I even put your bullshit ass book up here on my you know what I mean?
Welcome to Start with the Facts.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So tonight the Suns will play OKC. Underdog has SGA at 31.5 points. Do you have them higher or lower, Mace?
Give him 40. Why just say 31? Underdog. I'm going higher.
I'm going higher too.
Okay. Chet is at 17.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Lower.
Yep, lower.
Okay. And Dylan Brooks is at 18.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
That's an interesting one because, let me see. OKC. I'm going lower.
I'm going higher. Dylan Brooks been shooting a motherfucking rock, bro. He's becoming one of the best two-way players this year in the NBA. I'm really shocked at how he's shooting the ball. Phoenix looked like it's a really good fit for him. And all the shit he been talking, people are bringing up clips where I wasn't really aware of his college career, how he was a scorer in college. And they like, Cam's, yeah, y'all, people get their role and play their position in the NBA, but he been getting buckets. And I was looking at his college highlights. I'm like, oh, Dylan Brooks could get buckets. And that's how he's looking in Phoenix. So I'm definitely going to go higher.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So we see now that a lot of athletes have a platform. So Maurice, what do you think we gained and what did we lose from every athlete having their own platform, whether it be podcast, social media, things of those natures? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the thing that you gain is from a financial standpoint, athletes' ability to show their personality and make money. But I've gotten to a space where I'm kind of tired of hearing so many niggas try to push their own narrative. In some way, I kind of miss the days of like where other people made the athlete popular and too many people just trying to be perfect. Or too many people trying to, like, just even the word narrative get on my fucking nerves. Or just everybody has a narrative. And it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it was a thing of beauty when, like, other people made you popular, or other people talked about you, or they found out the cool shit about you. But now we just have, like, I don't know, like catty, girly, like, I just got to watch my words, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Just conversations that's a little bit like softish, or like, I don't know, just like a lot of sensitive stuff that athletes are always trying to defend, like these nuanced and pointless conversations. And so I think it's good because you have athletes who work hard in their ability to make money and show personality, but I don't like everybody feeling like they have to push their brand. And I really stole the conversation from Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan did a sit-down interview with NBC, and he said that Michael Jordan didn't try to start the Jordan brand. He put in all the work, and then out of the work came the brand, and other people made his logo and all this other stuff. But he said too many people lead with the brand first versus lead with the work first. And so that's where the question came from.
Well, you know what, Mike? Mo, I'm happy you said this because I was about to give you all the credit. I was going to say I couldn't have said it better, Mo, but it came from Mike. It didn't come from you, Mo, so I got to give the credit to Mike. I wondered why I was going to agree with it so much, but it came from Titletown. What else can I say, I don't care how Cam feels about this, I don't care how he feels about this,
Just say nothing, yo. It's just like it's crazy, yo. I'm just sitting here. Yo, you act like Mo ain't from Titletown.
Yeah.
Mo is from Titletown. So what are you talking about?
He's first ballot, he first ballot Titletown.
I ain't even say nothing, though. I'm sitting there waiting for my turn to go.
Yeah, I just felt like you was going to line step me. That's what I felt like you was going to line step me. So
line step in anticipation situation is crazy. That's wild. I didn't even say nothing.
Exactly what that is.
Word. That's wild. I didn't even say
Yeah,
nothing.
well, my bad. Yo, Mo, back to you. I'm thinking about this, and when people got their own podcast, I'm yet to see a person that doesn't put their brand first, especially when it comes to athletes. And it seemed like it lead to such a decline and a robbery of the sport, because the main thing that we actually are paying you the big bucks for, that's what we're not getting. We're getting the brand, and we're not paying for the brand. We're paying for the accolades that come through the sport, you know, from the tenacity, from the day-to-day work ethic. And when your brain is in two different places, it's proven to be too much for most athletes.
This was a great question, Mo, and a great topic. Because I'm torn with this. People, let's just go back in the past. A reporter says something bad about you, a newspaper reporter or a TV reporter or a sports anchor or whatever. You had to wait to speak to another sports anchor to respond to him whenever you could get into another sports anchor. Now you could go right to your phone and be like, fuck you. You're bugging, yada, 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 yada. But sometime, back to you guys' point, it takes away from their focus on the sport if you're paying attention to what everybody's saying. When you sign up to be a public figure, whether you're an athlete, entertainer, whatever you may be, you're going to be open for ridicule. And that's just the way it is. Some ridicule is warranted. Some is uncalled for. But when you're paying attention to it all the time, you're not focused on what you need to do. Then you have the situations where you say, okay, let's use Travis Kelce, right? He signed a 2-year deal, I believe, for, I think it's 30-something million, 40-something million, an extension with the Chiefs this past offseason. But then you got a 3-year deal for $100 million for your podcast. What is the main thing? What we know what was the main thing, but now what is the main thing? Because now you're making double, even though you're probably gonna split the money with your brother, than you're making for the playing football. It's a very thin line with this. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do on the court or on the field, and then you go talk about it, cool. I dig that. I don't have a problem with that. Like, for instance, Draymond, he goes out and plays, whether people say they like him, don't like him, hate him, whatever. He goes out and plays hard. And then he goes and does his podcast, which is fine with me. But then you got somebody like Paul George who does more podcasting than playing. I have a problem with that. So it's different scenarios for different people, my personal opinion. But it's a lot of money being thrown around for podcasting and for sports. And sometimes niggas may be like, look, I don't want to go to practice. I want to go talk about niggas. I could get the same money. You know what I'm saying? I seen Lou Williams one time talk. They was asking Lou Williams, and I felt that. I felt his answer right. They was asking Lou Williams, like, do y'all think NBA players are better than, like, N1 street ball players? And Lou Williams' answers was, it was Lou Williams and a few other NBA niggas, but Lou Williams was like, hell yeah, what are you talking about? We have to play basketball when we don't want to play basketball. That was his answer. It's like, basically, niggas may have to go to practice and play games and they don't even feel like it. But it's their obligation to do that. Nigga like, yo, I'm getting 100 podcasts. I'm not going to practice. It's cold out. Andre Ayton said he got iced in the house. He couldn't go outside because there's too much ice around his house. Like, niggas, sometimes niggas don't want to get up and go do shit when you can just turn on your computer, turn on your laptop. Mo, you live real comfortable and nice in your studio, which probably is in your house, right?
No, it's at the office.
Okay, the office, but you're in your own,
downstairs,
your own comfort. And you said, man, listen, even though you're in shape and all, nigga, I don't feel like lifting weights today. Fuck, I look like tackling a nigga this afternoon. I ain't with all that. Go grab me a quick 32,000 tonight and talk about what I see on the internet today. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially when you say that he got $300 million. So football is no longer the main thing.
$100 million for 3 years.
Yeah, 100 million for 3 years. Football is no longer the main thing, and it shows. That's what I'm trying to say. Look at the Chiefs. It's showing. You get the money. Why go play? Why run through the middle, pause, and get hit to catch passes? Maybe that's why you're dropping the ball. I don't know.
I will say I do think, because this is the discussion that we're having, everything does point to money, because even now, just with like athletes, and not even just football, basketball, but when it comes to like F1 and like just a lot of different sports, when it comes to marketing and like PR, all these people are telling these athletes like, we need you to show more personality. You need to go on podcasts. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I think also on the other end, I would say it's more of a con, because we're forcing and trying to see personalities out of people who don't really have a personality. And I think that it's okay. I just feel like when people see that something's popping or see that it's a different lane, they feel they need to fit into that lane. And I think it's okay to also do your own thing if that's not for you, because I also just feel like we get a surge of opinions from people who are not opinionated. Like, these people do not have a stance on anything, but then see a stance from the internet and then they'll roll with it and run with it, and they're just spewing out opinions that they don't personally have, or they're just being told what to do because it makes more money, or it gives them a second option to do something if this first option doesn't work out. And I just feel like we've kind of lost the plot of just like normal conversations. People are just looking for a viral take or like a viral conversation or an opportunity at something else that's going to bring more money. And it's like, we're getting it from people who don't necessarily, I think, need to have opinions on things. Like right now, there's this thing that's kind of trending about like influencers, because back in the days, I guess there was a time where influencers weren't really speaking. They would just post and they would look good. And people would be like, okay, this girl is pretty, but they didn't hear her mouth talk. They didn't hear what she had to say. Now we're hearing what everybody has to say. And I think we don't have to. It's okay to just be mysterious. It's okay to not have an opinion if you don't have one. It's okay to just fall back. But I think that that's the thing now. So everybody feels the need to say something. And I don't like that. I don't agree with it. I think if you have one, though, go ahead and say something. Yeah, Maurice.
No, you said what I was trying to say in a more eloquent way, but that's what I was saying. That no, everybody doesn't deserve an opinion. Not popular, but everybody don't need to be talking. That's kind of what I said.
I totally agree with both of y'all, but everything is about the money. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm late to the party when it comes to seeing how niggas get money on the internet and everything else. But I used to be like, yo, who the fuck is this nigga to be in his basement talking about a nigga all day, like 4 years ago? I'm like, why is he just every day talking about the same 4 niggas? And I'm like, oh, niggas is getting paid from this. It all boils down to the money, in my opinion. Like, this is how it goes for a heterosexual man outside of Mace, because he met his wife when he didn't have anything. And I don't know your situation, bro. Niggas want money to shit on the old niggas that was saying they wasn't going to get money and drive through they hood in the fly shit and be like, yo, y'all niggas was acting like it wasn't going to happen. Shit happened. And then you got the money to get the baddest bitches. And because you know the bad bitches like cars and like jewelry and nice houses. I don't get jewelry for me no more. Like now I didn't know. I mean, now I do. The jewelry wasn't for me. My jewelry was to shit on these niggas and to pull these bitches. That's what it's for. It's for the money. If you ain't in it for that, what you in it for?
Yeah.
Now, when you get older, you want financial security and to make sure your family is good and everything else. But that's what the money. If you ain't in it to win, what you in it for, man? What you playing for? Nigga said, what you playing if you... Nigga said, what you keeping score? Yeah, I'm keeping score. I want to know who winning.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what the chicken is for. That's how I grew up.
Nah, that's right. I remember one of my sisters told me, she said, Mace, everybody's about the money. She said, and even the women that tell you they're not about the money, those the one that are really about the money, because they got a plan that you don't see that's about the money.
Yeah, the girl told me it ain't all about winning. Then why you keeping score? Why keep the score if it ain't all about winning? Why every game you see on TV, they keeping the score?
Yeah,
I don't get
turn
it.
the clock off.
Yeah. Oh, it ain't all about winning. What they keeping the score for? All niggas just keep playing and don't worry about what the score is if it ain't all about winning. I agree with y'all about everybody don't need no opinion, but the money, look, man, niggas want to show off when they young. Like you said, I'm older in a different place now, and I get jewelry to please myself, but nigga, I remember we get jewelry, niggas like, yo, the hoes gonna go crazy over that joint right there. Nah. Or when you be like, nah. You get the car, you be like,
kill these niggas.
Yo, when we get uptown, niggas gonna piss, nigga. That pink Range Rover wasn't for me. I know what I was doing when I came through with the pink Range. I see niggas' face like this.
Yeah.
Right, what up, yo? What up, Kim? Right on my block. I know that face.
Yeah.
And then when I go drive downtown, oh my God, you got a pink Range Rover. Oh, it's pink inside. Yeah, come on. You like pink? Like papaya? Let's go to papaya real quick.
Mo, I remember I told Killer, I said, yo, I'm saving my my ATM receipt. Who want to have an ATM war? You know, niggas is doing it for the show. Niggas is definitely for the show.
Yeah, when you get older, you start thinking about different things. But I get it. I agree. Everybody don't need an opinion. I definitely agree with that. But it's definitely a race.
I still show off when I'm older.
Yeah,
that one I still do it. You just start to show off a little bit.
You still show off, Mo?
100%. This show is showing off on niggas. I was down.
They counted you out, Mo.
Look, I do all that. Pull the rolls out, pull the Bentley out, walk around in shape, clean, all that. Yeah.
Now you know
I'm full-fledged nigga, but
yeah, I had to think about it, Killer. I remember one time you said something to me, and I said Lazarus, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what's crazy is that I went out. This is about maybe 2 months ago, and we went to the club, and they was like, "Yo, Cam, oh shit." Some chicks I know, they like, yo, I never seen you in jeans and shit. I just be seeing when you coming from. I said, I'm not getting dressed for Stat and Mace, yo. I'm not. I'm coming pajamas, bottoms on. I'm not getting dressed up for them. We going somewhere. Throw it on, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It depends.
That part. I do want to add, because like all great points, and I always have a slightly different opinion, because I do agree, like, it is good. It's nice to show off. It's nice to have fun things. But I also feel like at the end of the day, self-fulfillment is like the most important thing. Like, the money is great. I totally agree. Like, I understand that's a plus, but it's like your purpose and your passions, like that will overrule everything, in my opinion, at the end of the day.
Cap.
No, because if it's not fulfilling you, it's not cap. If there's no fulfillment, even if you have all the money in the world, because every time I talk to people who make so much money, like millionaires, billionaires, all y'all, it's always like the money is great, but also I'm going to do something that is fulfilling for me. Because I can do whatever I want to do. I can go wherever I want to go, but I still have to have my own purpose.
But both things can be true.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah. See, the thing about it is this, right? And I can't speak for you, Stat. This fulfilling for me. Pause. And I'm getting paid. Like, it ain't like I gotta go work for some nigga who telling me like, yo, go pick up that crane and lift up these bricks. Or, yo, go sweep that up and make sure you don't get the mice shit behind the refrigerator and all this. Look, man, this is not a bad gig. In my life, thank God, knock on wood, thanks Betha, Dame, even though me and Dame don't speak no more. All the people that helped me get to where I'm at. I had a decent adult life, man. It's been really, really good. You know, it's ups and downs, highs and lows, more highs than lows, but it's been a really great adult life. So I get where you're coming from, Stat. Like, when you got to do stuff to fulfill you. But you talked about this yesterday. You could have been on the public broadcast system telling the weather.
Public broadcast?
Fucking Chattanooga.
Why you line it up like that?
Like, just saying.
Like, incoming weather alert. I did not say I was going to do all that.
What would you have done?
Just regular general reporting.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't have, but my opinion is this, and I can't speak. I'm just saying, I don't think you get invited to the Super Bowl with that job. I don't think you're going to the Jordan parties. I don't think you're going to the NBA finals with that shit. I don't think that TikTok and Instagram's going to say, hey, let's get Stat to tweet about this or do this. I don't think you get invited to all the stuff you get invited to, having that, whatever you said you was going to do.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
it's cap. It's caps.
No, but
it's
that's
cap.
what I'm saying.
Let me tell you how it's cap.
Go ahead,
Because it's cap. You know,
Okay.
they can watch us. So I gotta let you know. You talking to Cap Lock P. You know that, right? On your computer, you got to hold Shift and P at the same time. You can't pull that on me. No, for real, Stat. Let me just ask you one question on national TV.
Yeah.
Would you like a raise?
I mean, who doesn't want to raise?
So then then the money does matter.
The money, I didn't say that the money, no, but that's not what I'm saying. I didn't say that the money doesn't matter, but I said self-fulfillment is important because now I'm going to bring it back to what Cam just said, because the perks are beautiful, right? But when I started my career, this was not the expectations that I had.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me that I would be in this position between y'all two, living literally my best.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Can I get motivational?
Yeah, go ahead.
Living my best life. This is not the expectation that I had. Like, I really did not imagine any of this. And
keep it 100, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
You put the work into it. It isn't like you ain't put the work in. And then secondly, nobody knew this show was going to be what it was. You took the time out from school. You came every day. You seen the vision. You took the chance. You probably didn't even know me and Mace music that well. You had to do the Google search, everything else. But you took the chance and you put the work in. But it's a great life.
Yeah.
Of course.
You didn't know Red Man.
Of course.
You asked a question. Now I want to ask that a question. Would you have met your boyfriend that you with now doing the job you got?
I don't know.
No.
Nah.
You would have been with your boyfriend from college or high school.
I don't know. And that was not gonna happen. We know that.
Just saying. I be telling niggas met their families because of me, man.
Yes. Oh, go. What were you saying?
No, I'm done.
Oh, go ahead, Maurice. Since I have a pretty good question for me today.
No, you just talking about it wrong. So sometimes when people they always compare the guy with a bunch of money is miserable, and that's the wrong thing because I ain't got a bunch of money, but I got money, right?
Yeah.
That is not the truth. Niggas be broke niggas talk about that. Guys with money are happy. I'm telling you that, and life is much easier when you got a lot of money. But you can actually be doing the thing you're passionate about and make a bunch of money. I just don't like when people talk about it when they separate, as if you're doing something to make money and you're not happy. Because all the stuff that I do to make money makes me happy. And then it allows me to do all this other cool shit like this show. That's what I'm talking about. So just don't separate the two. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Full circle.
I gotta keep Stat accountable because every now and then she flies, you know.
I like when y'all ask me questions because we literally all do think differently. So that's why I like hearing. But it's it all comes around full circle back to kind of the same thing. We have agreements at some point, so it's pretty cool.
Well, at the end of the day, I just like to say thank you for being a part of the show. Your contribution has been great, and like I said, you seen the vision because. A lot of stuff that I try to do, or getting back with Mace and everything, I'm pretty sure he has stuff that he's done in the past, and you don't know if it's going to work or not. Mm-hmm. You have no idea, and that's just a chance I'm willing to take when it comes to certain things, you know what I'm saying? So, just tell both of y'all thank you, and thank you, Mo, and everybody else for being part of the show.
Thanks, I appreciate that, and for y'all, thanks for believing in me, because y'all could be this girl here, she's in school, she don't know what, but y'all took a chance on me too, so it's I'm forever grateful, and it's really dope to be up here because we do have fun and we do make money, and we do get to do what we want to do. So it's lit up here. Okay, y'all.
That's crazy. I never heard Cam say thank you, yo.
That's crazy. That's a lie.
Yo.
That's a whole
Nah,
lie.
for real. No, I mean, today it sounds sincere,
That's
you know?
crazy. That's a lie.
Now that I will add, he does always say
That's
thank
a
you.
whole lie.
He's like, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Like that's very.
I'm mad polite and I'm mad for real. I'm very
Nah, I'm just playing.
I'm very considerate. Like I'm super duper making sure because I want to be treated like that.
Yeah.
Like so, I make sure that I say thank you. Somebody hold the door for me. I say good luck. I'm one of them niggas because if I hold the door for somebody and they don't say thank you, I'll be like, you welcome, yo. Like I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I call niggas out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is one thing I will say. And I know you're joking, but like to Cam's character too, like he always will give like credit where it's due. Like that's something that like that he does do, and then same for you, like your appreciativeness for people. So it's like that I will say, regardless of how people feel.
Yeah, well, thank you, Cam. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Stat. And thank you to all of the fans out there that watch It Is What It Is. Make sure you subscribe and have a very, very happy holidays.
See that part. That is all the time that we have for today. Maurice, you know it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
And thank you, Nick.
Oh,
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Sorry about that. Yep.
Dope. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.